Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/TrueOffMyChest, where we meet a group of degenerates. Let's begin. My husband had a threesome with my best friend and his girl best friend, and I got so angry I hooked up with his boss. Now I regret it. Posted by Reddit user Excellent Wedding.
My brother had to have surgery and I wanted to be there for him. So I ended up staying about 2 weeks. I always knew my best friend had a thing for my husband. She's admitted it multiple times, but I would just laugh it off because surely my married best friend won't fuck my husband, right? I didn't even catch them. My husband's girl best friend is just that insane that she casually admitted it to me as I was cleaning the kitchen when I got back. I thought she was kidding. No, she wasn't. I asked my best friend if this was true over a phone call and she at first denied it, then broke down sobbing and fucking admitted to it. I was so angry I threw all of my husband's shit into a big suitcase and tossed it on the front lawn. I locked the doors and piled a bunch of shit in front of it like the couch, an end table, etc., so the dumb fuck couldn't get in. Of course, when he got home from work and couldn't get in, he started panicking. He banged on the door and shouted for me to let him in. I just stayed upstairs with our dog and let him tire himself out. Eventually he left, and from what I know, he stayed the night at his girl best friend's shitty apartment. They probably fucked too, all while he was crying over me. Dumbass. After a few weeks of him blowing up my phone and pleading with me, I finally let him come home and we talked. He was sobbing and apologizing to me, said he was a sex addict and that he needed help. I told him I want him to go to therapy as well as us going to couples counseling. He agreed to it without any fight. He slept on the couch while I slept in our bedroom. My best friend hadn't even made any moves to contact me or apologize for being the home wrecker she is. My husband ended up having some sort of work dinner party a week or so later that he needed to attend and invited me. This was the first time he's ever invited me to anything like this. Pretty sure it's because none of his female coworkers don't know he's married. Or I'm assuming that's the case because of how shocked they seemed to meet me. At the dinner, his boss was chatting with me, newly divorced, and I asked him how that was, made sure to ask loud enough for husband to hear me. We ended up chatting all night and my husband ended up scurrying off from the dinner table and told me he was gonna go home and told me to get an Uber home, clearly pissed off at me. Needless to say, his boss was shocked at how he treated me and I couldn't help but play up the sad lonely wife bit. It ultimately ended up in us going back to his house and hooking up. When I woke up that morning, I did end up Ubering home. Since then, his boss has sent flowers to our home, called me a few times, and my husband is completely aware of this, and now the regret is starting to sink in. The guilt and worry has started to eat away at me. The revenge felt nice, but now it's clear it's eating at the both of us. I'm gonna find a lawyer and start the process soon. I just needed to tell all this to someone that isn't my family because they don't even know the first detail about this. Edit. Forgot to add that when we had our first therapy appointment, he never showed. He was gonna head there after visiting his sister who lives just a few miles from us. I sat and waited in that office for over an hour before I just went home and saw his ass sitting on the couch texting on his phone. He knew we had that appointment that day because I texted him multiple times about it. He had no intention whatsoever to fix this, give me closure, or start fixing his sex addiction.
Seriously, OP. You, your husband, and everyone around you are complete train wrecks, degenerates of society. Clearly, the only way to fix this is for you and your husband to get your best friend, his best friend, and his boss all together for a naked scumfest. Hell, you can even invite his sister. And now for today's second story. My husband got mad that a guy was giving me oral sex. Posted by Reddit user Timely Basis.
Disposable account for obvious reasons. English is not my first language, so sorry for any misspellings. I have been married for 10 years. I'm 30 and my husband is 32. I have a bit of a hard time coming from penetration, so I would occasionally tell my husband to give me an oral, but he always refuses because he says he doesn't like my taste. This was ever since we met, so he just uses his fingers or nothing. About 2 months ago he came up with the idea of having an open marriage. According to him, he loves me, but it didn't satisfy him sexually, although I was open to experimenting with various things like anal and others. He also said that my physique no longer attracted him so much. I ended up accepting, putting various rules. Wear protection. Only have sex with someone once or twice a week. Get constant STD tests, also with the partner who is going to be intimate too if possible. Notify in advance of at least 2 hours. And we said that we could take them home but not to our bed. It would be to the guest bed or something like that. I wasn't that interested in this, so I hadn't dated anyone. My husband was. He took advantage of everything he wanted. About 2 weeks ago I met someone and well, we had sex. When I got home, I was quite happy since I hadn't done it for a long time. But my husband didn't seem so happy. He was somewhat furious. I asked him what was wrong with him, and he just ignored me. The following week the same guy contacted me and we met again. I told my husband from 2 p.m. My husband leaves work at 6:30 p.m. I told him to arrive a little later to go for a walk or with someone because I was going to take the boy to my home. Well, the point is that the boy was giving me an oral, but then my husband entered the guest room and told the boy to leave. He was angry. I told him what the hell was wrong with him and he didn't say anything. It was quite hot that night, so I stayed in my underwear. I fell asleep. I got up around 2 a.m. and my husband was between my legs eating down there and his fingers inside me. I was kind of what the fuck, because he never liked doing it. We had sex that night and every night after, including oral sex. He now tells me that he wants to close the marriage, but it's confusing, because he asked to open it from the beginning because he was dissatisfied and he didn't see me as attractive. But now, and what if he gets bored of me again or something like that? And now for OP's first update. I want to clarify that this post was previously published, but both the original and the update were removed in Tiger subreddit. I uploaded it here again because several wrote to me to do it, but if it is deleted again I will not do it and possibly delete the user. Sorry everyone, and thank you too. Update 1. Well, thank you all really for your wise advice, also for the bad ones. They told me a lot to leave my husband and get together with the boy. That's not going to happen lol. They also asked who gave me the oral better, because they are going to be left with doubt. I will try to speak to my husband as quickly as possible about this. It really scares me a bit and I've been avoiding the subject with him, but I think the right thing to do is to discuss it. I appreciate his concerns when I said that my husband was eating down there when he was sleeping. If I didn't mention that it bothered me, it's because it didn't. I had already talked to him about it before, but he just didn't want to until that day. So no, I didn't feel violated or anything like that. But I appreciate his concerns. Update 2. Well, here again. I'm going to get divorced. My future ex-husband said that he wanted a divorce. A few days ago, we talked about closing the marriage. I was really willing to do it and practically forget about this bad time, but he didn't want the same. He asked me for a divorce. He said that he didn't really find meaning in us anymore, that he doesn't even know why he married me. He said that he settled with me. He also confessed to various affairs and was the reason why he asked for an open marriage, to feel less guilty. But when I had sex with the boy, he got angry because he felt betrayed. Now, I went to get many STD tests, since he said that he did it many times without protection, and we didn't use a condom either because I never imagined that he was unfaithful. Plus, I stopped birth control a few months ago because we wanted a baby. Now I'm really glad I didn't get pregnant. Everything really hurts me because despite this I still love him. I don't understand if he never loved me because he married me. I could have had a different life and now I'm here feeling like shit for having lost 10 years of my life. And if I'm still 30, but I could have done many different things in 10 years. But since he settled with me, now he resented it. When we started dating I had nothing to say that it was for money. He told me that he wanted an amicable divorce. He will leave the house to me. He left with several of his things. I don't know where and I won't ask him either. But I don't understand. What's next? I really don't want to get divorced. I don't know what to do. I'm so scared of everything. Sorry to those who got upset. I just re-uploaded this because I really have over 100 messages saying to post it again. Sorry. And now, for OP's final update. I found out that my husband has another family. Well, it's my future ex-husband really, context in previous posts. I hadn't heard from him since he left until recently. His sister sent me a photo of him on a beach with a girl and a girl about 3 years old. The girl is identical to him and the three of them look quite happy. When I saw him, I had a panic attack and had to take me to the hospital. My mother thought it would be a good idea to tell my ex and he just replied, thumbs up, let her get better, and blocked my mother. I haven't been well since he left. But I think there is no point in continuing to lament for someone to whom I gave 10 years of my life, and they don't even care that I'm in the hospital. I will start personal therapy soon and I hope to improve. I've been dating the boy but I feel like I'm using him to take out my bitterness and I feel terrible about it.
So he started a family while still married to you. My God, what a piece of shit. OP, you need to drain him dry in the divorce. Don't let him get away with hurting you like that for wasting 10 years of your life. Make his life hell, dude. Come on. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.